3 years after Milan. I was in Italy.
That's right.
And I remember you were there only for a day. And then you told me you were going to Spain. It was something chaotic, if I remember correctly.
Oh, yeah, I mean, that was the first promotion I think I'd done for many years, so I was in the middle of chaos there, yeah, definitely.
I remember a different story, the DVD. I think it starts with Milan. And you say something like, can I please don't do something like this and just let the CD go straight to #1 or something like that? I hope this doesn't mean that you hate this interview or interviews.
No, I mean, to be honest with you, I'm not nearly as... Because I stayed away from media almost entirely for a long time, so I was still very uncomfortable. But I've kind of, you know, I've had to do a fair bit for this... to let people know I was going on tour, and I've got more comfortable with it again, you know. It's much easier than it was for me in the 90s.
How did you decide to make a tour? Because I remember I asked you then, and you were something like, I don't know, maybe later, maybe not.
Yeah, I think it was really, to be really honest, I think I was just one of those people who dealt very badly with fame the first time it was offered to me, you know, really on that level, which I suppose was '88, would have been the Faith tour. I dealt with that very badly, so my memories of touring were very distorted by that. And also, I think I also didn't handle bereavement very well. You know, I had 2 bereavements in the 90s. One, my partner died, and then my mother died. And those 2 things, I think... I was not very good at recovering from. I think sometimes it's harder to recover from and to get back into real life from bereavement when you're your own boss. When there's no one to kick you up the arse and tell you to get back to work, it can go on for too long, you know, that whole process of recovery. So I think it really did take me a long time. And I gradually, over the last... say 3 or 4 years, started thinking maybe it's not the worst idea in the world
to make a tour.
Yeah, and I think that I'd already decided to tour, but I really once the press stuff last year started getting really out of control, the temptation to tour was much stronger, because you know there's nothing they can do to spoil that. You know, you know, if you're going to get up on stage, you know, as long as you do your job properly and you prepare properly, then the audience is going to get what they want from it, and no one can get in the way of that.
And it was a massive success. You did the sold-out tour. Yeah,
I was absolutely... I was not expecting the success. I was expecting fast ticket sales, but I wasn't expecting the tremendous amount of warmth I got from people. And then followed by the best reviews for anything I've ever had in my life. You know, I'm not used to getting great reviews for anything. You know, however good I might think it is, I'm not used to that. I'm not used to that at all. So it was a bit surreal. Going from all this terrible publicity to all this great publicity, you know.
But I think all your albums had great reviews. Most of them.
The thing is, artists only ever remember the bad ones. I just remember the bad ones. Patience had probably the best reviews of my career, actually. But I'm used to having what you call grudging, you know. I'm used to people kind of... They're good reviews, but they're never the reviews you'd want as an artist. And then they were pretty good for Patience, and then for this tour, I've never seen reviews like it. Actually, I've never seen reviews like it for anyone else, let alone for me. So I felt very, very proud of myself by the end of that.
Okay. In 2004 in Milan, you told me that one of your next projects, you would like to have some free albums in the internet. That your next album would be a duets album, if I remember correct. And after that, that you would make your own music free. So what happened to that? Is it still the plan?
It's still the plan. People love to think that you changed your mind. It's still the plan. I want to make music. I want to make it available to the people who've supported me for the last 25 years. And I'd like to do that for free, you know. That's still the plan. Live work is where I can make money now. I can make the money out of live work to pay for those recordings. Because I make very expensive recordings, you know. I take a lot of time. My Patience, I think it must have run into nearly £3 million, I think, somewhere in that. And you know, giving that away for free is not a very sensible thing to do. But at least if I have the income, the live income, then I can do what I wanted to do, which is make the music without being part of the marketplace. You know?
Do you have a plan of the next studio album, when it's going to be, or not yet?
No, because I don't think there will ever be an album. I think it's going to be tracks as and when they're made. You know, I'd really like to do it that way, so that everything that I do, so that I'm constantly, so that I have something constant that I'm getting feedback from, without having to look at charts and listen to, you know, beg people to play fantastic records, you know, things like that. I don't want to have to do any of that shit anymore. I just would like to make the music that I want to make and have no personal contact with the media, you know. Doesn't mean they're going to stop writing about me.
Of course. I'm
quite sure, as I said before, I'm quite sure they'll manage to find pictures of me looking like a bag lady coming out of a supermarket, or you know, in years' time, I hope the only times you'll see me will be when someone's got a snap of me looking really terrible and saying, "Doesn't he look old?" You know?
You're saying like, I have the feeling that press does not like you. I don't think that's true.
Well, I think actually it doesn't really matter, does it, whether they like me or not? The fact is, they're still. I suppose I still have to be grateful that they actually bother to write about me. 25 years down the line, I know I've got a lot of people that were my peers in the 80s would be perfectly happy with the bad publicity, as long as they got the good stuff too.
Yes, of course. Tell me about this stadium tour, 25 live stadium tour. Is it gonna be the thing that I saw, the project, the big production I saw in Berlin and in Earl's Court that I was, or something different, something else?
It's bigger.
It's bigger.
Yeah, it's bigger and better. I've done some work updating the imagery, the video imagery, and the lighting.
What about this video wall, the 2-dimension? It was fantastic.
I know. Well, that's going to be bigger and better. That's the thing. And also, I have a runway that will take me right out into the middle of the auditorium as well. So it's good. I mean, it's going to be exhausting because I'm going to have twice the room to cover, but it should look absolutely phenomenal.